With most transactions having already taken place in what has been the shortest offseason in NBA history, and with the start of the next season just a few weeks away, there are a few things teams have yet to figure out regarding their rosters. However, even while it may seem there won't be any superstars changing teams before December 22nd, the biggest question of the 2020 offseason remains without an answer, as Giannis Antetokounmpo still hasn't decided whether to sign an extension that would make him one of the wealthiest players in the league. At the moment, there's no clear indication about what his intentions may be or how the latest moves by the team could affect his commitment to them. But whatever he and the franchise end up doing won't matter too much if they don't win a championship soon. And in that regard, few teams may be facing as much pressure as the Bucks. Welcome to Courtside. Today we're taking a look at what's at risk for Milwaukee heading into the season and how Giannis' decision could affect the future of that franchise. Ever since making a run to the Eastern Conference Finals and coming within a win of a championship series in 2001, the Bucks have been an average team that struggled to keep itself as a playoff contender throughout the years. However, that trend started to change a few years after drafting Giannis in 2013. As the Greek Freak started to develop his game and turn into a consistent and productive player on both ends of the court, the front office decided to build around him and help him continue improving his game. Therefore, they allowed him to become their main option on offense as well as the face of the franchise. The move proved to be a successful one for the team as, before long, Milwaukee was making postseason appearances in consecutive seasons for the first time since 2004. However, once there was a well-established foundation, the team decided to take another step forward to go deeper into the playoffs. First move was to sign Mike Budenholzer as the new head coach, and then they added players who could help them create space for Giannis. Once again, the moves produced a great result as the Bucks took the league by storm and finished with a league-leading record, as well as with their first 60-win season since 1981. Under this new system, Antetokounmpo was able to keep improving on his game, averaging career highs in points, rebounds, and assists per game, while also leading the Bucks on defense. For his effort, he became the winner of the MVP trophy. But their impressive season came to an end at the hands of the Toronto Raptors after coach Nick Nurse employed a defensive strategy that managed to limit Giannis' impact and make Milwaukee play worse as a result. Still, they left a mark on the league, and most people saw them as the favorites to win the title next year. Once the season started, they looked like the team to beat by putting up excellent performances on both ends of the floor on a daily basis, while also leading the league in wins for the second straight season. However, things would become far more complicated inside the Orlando bubble. After playing poorly during the seeding games, people started to question whether the Bucks would be able to thrive under the strict conditions fabricated inside Disney World, and concerns only became louder after they dropped the series opener against the Magic. But they managed to finish the series in 5 games and led a protest that put the season in danger along the way. So people started to believe it would only be a matter of time before Giannis and company found their rhythm. But unfortunately, that wasn't the case. Milwaukee was easily defeated in the first 3 games of its second-round series against the Miami Heat and was barely able to avoid a sweep before being eliminated in Game 5. Eric Spoelstra and his team were able to utilize the same strategy Nurse created a year before to neutralize Giannis and stop the Bucks' offense, while also exploiting the holes their defense left open. And so, a season that was expected to produce either a championship or a finals appearance finished with a second-round upset at the hands of a team that was less talented on paper, but still managed to dismantle their roster with the best record in the league. With such a disappointing result, the attention immediately shifted towards the 2-time MVP and Defensive Player of the Year. After all, the accolades and the regular season wins come along with lofty expectations, even for a player that's only spent 7 years in the NBA. Those expectations can turn into pressure to try to win a championship as soon as possible. If that goal is not met despite being part of one of the best teams in the league, well, that pressure can turn into frustration, especially when heading into a contract season. So as the Bucks earned the possibility to offer the Greek Freak a supermax contract extension as soon as free agency started, all eyes turned to Giannis' imminent decision and how it may end up affecting the future of the franchise. So far, it seemed like his preferred option would be to sign the extension and keep playing with the Bucks. However, he's made it clear that his decision will come down to what the front office does to improve the roster and whether he feels convinced about the team's commitment to winning that championship. In that regard, considering the moves they made during the last couple of weeks, safe to say the organization did everything in its power to try to keep its star player happy. The Bucks made a significant upgrade at the point guard position by turning Eric Bledsoe into Drew Holiday, and then seemed to have a deal in place to acquire Bogdan Bogdanovic, one of the players that Giannis tried to recruit over the last few months. But the sign and trade that could have brought the Serbian to Milwaukee fell through as the league announced it would investigate whether the team incurred into tampering. And so what could have been one of the best starting lineups in the league turned into dust before even getting the chance to play together. But despite the embarrassing episode surrounding Bogdanovic, the front office was able to make a quick recovery by adding some depth instead, acquiring role players like DJ Augustin, Torrey Craig, Bryn Forbes, and Bobby Portis. None of them may provide the same skill set as the Serb, but they come up as a decent backup plan and could provide solid production off the bench. But now that the Bucks may have finished making moves and the start of a season comes closer, will these newer additions be enough to convince Giannis about committing to the team for the long term? The truth is that, while the moves don't necessarily put the team any closer to a championship than it was before, it does improve its chances to compete against the other teams in the East, and it shows the front office's willingness to take risks while trying to improve the roster. That should be appreciated by Giannis. After all, everything seems to indicate that, unlike LeBron James, Kevin Durant, or Kawhi Leonard, Antetokounmpo is decided to win a championship without needing to change teams or building a contender in a city like Los Angeles or New York. But he's also conscious he'll need all the help he can get to make that happen. So it should be comforting for him to know the team is actively looking for ways to bring in more talent to get better immediately. After all, that's the thing that both Cleveland and Oklahoma City failed to do years ago. But what happens with the team once he makes his decision? If Giannis accepts the extension offer, Milwaukee will know it will keep its franchise players for a few more years and won't face the possibility of losing him for nothing in the open market. We can also assume that if he does end up signing this new contract with the team, he'll honor his word and play with the Bucks for the next 6 years without demanding a trade, much like LeBron has done in the past. However, there's also the chance the front office offers him the possibility to work through a trade if things don't go as expected as part of their proposal, just like the Thunder did with Paul George a couple of years back. In any case, accepting the extension would mean the Bucks should remain as a championship contender for at least a few more years and would have more chances to make adjustments as they try to win their first title since 1971. But if the Greek Freak declines the extension offer, the franchise will face more pressure than ever before to make that championship run during the next season. The situation could end up being similar to Durant's last year in Golden State, where people were more focused on his impending decision as a free agent than on the way he and the Warriors were playing throughout the season. And anything short of a championship parade would be looked at as a disappointment and a failure. In that scenario, every move and comment would face scrutiny by the media and the public opinion, and all the extra attention could end up being an unnecessary distraction from the on-court results. Still, Antetokounmpo would have the opportunity to sign the same extension next summer and keep playing for the team for up to 5 more seasons. But he could also decide to test the market, and if teams with recent championship experience, such as the Heat and Raptors, made an offer that was more compelling to him than anything the Bucks could put together regarding the basketball side of things, he may be tempted to leave the team that drafted him. And that would be a devastating blow for Milwaukee. It would all but force them to go through a rebuild like the Thunder is currently doing, and would probably leave most people wondering what could have been. All in all, saying that the future of a whole franchise depends on Giannis' decision would not be an overstatement. As one of the most physically dominating players of his generation, the Greek Freak has the power to make or break a team, and sooner or later, he's going to have to make his choice. In any case, the Bucks will be pressed to win a title as soon as possible, and if they manage to do it this year, all doubts will be put to rest. But as long as they keep coming short, there will be questions regarding Antetokounmpo's future with the team, even if he decides to sign an extension. So it's safe to say they're already running against the clock. But now, what are your thoughts about Giannis' upcoming decision? And if he declines to sign an extension, what teams would you like to see chasing him in the free agency? Let us know in the comments. We hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you did, remember to like it and subscribe to our channel for more NBA content. We are Courtside.